Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our October Wellness Series. My name is Joanne Carr, and I will be your moderator for the entire day today. Our first presentation is going to be all about demystifying perimenopause, some of the supplements that we look to support the body during this transitional phase. I am recording this session, so everybody will get a link to the recording and a copy of the presentation. If you have any questions at all throughout this morning's presentation, please do not hesitate to write your questions out in the chat, the Q&A options that you have available to you, and I will do my best to answer your questions at that time. So as I always say, let's get the show on the road, and today we're going to be looking at perimenopause. I thought this was, sometimes we have to throw a little bit of humor into these presentations because, it can be very trying for many women as they transition and go through the different changes of life. So I thought I would put this cartoon character. I don't have hot flashes. I have short private vacations in tropical light conditions. So having said that, let's move on. Before we actually get into the supplement portion of this morning's presentation, let's look at perimenopause. Perimenopause is the time period that encompasses our final years as women of our reproductive life, so to speak. We all hear about menopause, perimenopause, as women go through the different changes and phases in their lifetime. So, perimenopause begins with the first onset of menstrual irregularity and ends 1 year following the cessation of menstrual periods, or as the medical field will call it, or the medical terminology is amenorrhea. And that is defined as the final menstrual period, or FMP. And that at age will be different for each and every one of us. For some women, it can start as early as in their 30s. Some women, it could be in their 40s, and some women in their 50s. It all depends on the hormones, of course, stress and other factors. So there are two stages to the perimenopause or menopausal transition. There's the early transition, where cycles are mostly regular with relatively few interruptions. And then there's the late transition. Amenorrhea becomes more prolonged, where we're not experiencing the monthly cycle, and it lasts for at least 60 days up to what we call the final menstrual period. And this is the technical terms or the medical terms involved with, stating what perimenopause is all about and looking at the menstrual cycle in general. Now, physical signs and symptoms, we all experience different things. Again, depending on our hormones, our stress levels, our diet, exercise, all of these are involved when we look at different signs and symptoms. So my transition through perimenopause into menopause will be different than many of you. So breast tenderness, and these, some women basically experience all of these, and some women may only experience a few. So here's just a short list: breast tenderness, concentration difficulties, or brain fog, even hot flashes, irregular periods, loss of sex drive, so libido is affected, mood changes, periods that are heavier or lighter than normal. We call that irregular bleeding, poor quality of sleep, and we're going to address that this morning, weight gain. All of these and more we could experience. And again, we may experience one or two, some may experience more than that. A lot of women describe this change. They feel like Jekyll and Hyde. One minute they're in a great mood, the next minute their whole life seems turned around. And that's all part and parcel. And again, sometimes it's more severe for some women than it is for others. Sleep issues. Now, sleep is a common issue as many women get older. We look at the hormones, we look at sleep hygiene. There is such a thing as sleep hygiene, which I've mentioned before when we look at as we go through the transition and our hormones become more irregular, we look at sleep becoming a problem. And I see that I hear about that a lot when I'm speaking to different women. Now, I'm not saying that you can just take one of the omega alpha supplements and your world will be all good again. Everything will be back to 100%. With regards to hormonal changes, that takes time. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we have to have realistic expectations when we are going through a transitional phase with our life and depending on our age. And supplements are part of a program. We also look at exercise and healthy eating also as major factors involved with improving hormonal function and helping with sleep. But we're going to look at four different products this morning and how they can help. This one particularly with sleep. We're going to be looking at other options as well, targeting different health issues that affect us as we go through, as we get to the perimenopausal phase of our lives. So Nocturna is all about helping with sleep. So for those women who are having a hard time getting to sleep or staying asleep, Nocturna is a product based on an herbal combination of ingredients that helps to support the body in a synergistic way. So it will help reduce the feelings of fatigue that people are experiencing. This is also a really good product to take if you're considered to be a type A personality, where people just can't get to sleep because they are so high strung, or they're laying in bed at night replaying everything that's happened all day long, or what could I have done differently, or what did I forget to do today? Because we all have so many things on our list of things to do every single day. And we're trying to deal with all of these things. And quite often, for women, women are so busy helping others that, and I'm not saying all women are this way, but many women are putting themselves last in this whole equation. It's not uncommon, but it's nice to see, and it's very optimistic in how things are turning around, that women are starting to say, no, I need to take care of myself so that I'm in good health so I can help support others in my life. So there's a very calming effect associated with this product. So we normally recommend taking it 30 minutes prior to going to bed at night. So it kind of gets us into more of a Zen mode. We don't want to be taking it throughout the day because that could make it a lot more difficult to concentrate. So I always suggest people take it at night, 30 minutes prior to going to bed. And one of the great things about it is that you don't have side effects like you would have with prescription sleeping medications, like grogginess the next morning, or what we call that chemical hangover. That's just one more thing to have to deal with alongside of our inability to fall asleep or stay asleep. So when I say it acts as a mild sedative, some people notice the effects of it more quickly than others. It all depends on your central nervous system, just how stressed you are. But again, we want to take this product at an appropriate time of day when we're starting to unwind and we don't need to focus or have any major tasks ahead of us. So this product supports our central nervous system. So it supports our brain stem, and of course, so it can also help with focus if we did need to do that. But again, it's more about just helping the body relax. And it's a nice herbal combination of herbs like valerian and passion flower, hops. These are herbs that have traditionally been used for supporting our central nervous system and helping us get to sleep. Getting us into that deeper REM sleep, because that's the time of night where our body is rejuvenating, restoring, and we need to get into that deep REM sleep so our body can help to rebalance. Detoxification occurs a lot in the middle of the night, depending on what organ system we're looking at or systems we're looking at. But just if you've never used herbs before, herbs are very safe. In fact, if you take too much Nocturna, let's say, for example, the suggested dose is to take 2 tablespoons once a day, 30 minutes before bedtime. But we know that many people will take more because they want to get quicker results. And it's human nature to want to have quicker results. So if someone doubles that dose and takes 4 tablespoons, if that's too much for them, the body will respond by you will have a looser stool. So that is what we call taking a supplement to bowel tolerance. And we suggest that nobody is going to die if they take too much Nocturna or too much of our other supplements. People are concerned about the side effects of taking too much. And I'm letting you know right now, the worst case scenario is you might experience a looser stool or diarrhea, but you don't have to worry about it being fatal by any stretch of the imagination. Nocturna is meant to be used long term. In fact, with sleeping issues, as women go through the change or going through perimenopause, they may need to take Nocturna for months at a time, or they might need to take it for a week before they even start to notice any changes with their sleep. Sleep is a very difficult thing to target because we're looking at hormones, we're looking at what happens during the day, how we are eating, if we're able to manage our stress effectively or not. So when I talk about sleep hygiene, I mean things like find things that help you relax at night, maybe taking a bath or meditating or reading, doing yoga, things like that. Making sure the room is dark at night, that there's no outside lights shining in. It could be a light outside, a street light that's, beaming light into your bedroom window. It could be a bad mattress. Your mattress isn't good. The quality of your mattress is not appropriate. Even the pillow you sleep on. These are all part and parcel of what we call sleep hygiene, and we need to look at that too as part of the reasons why maybe we're not being able to sleep appropriately or stay asleep. But we do recommend Nocturna for not only for insomnia or sleep related issues, but for anxiety, nervousness, restlessness, depression, stress, whether it's mental or emotional stress, tension, irritability, and the irritability could also be linked to hormones, which I'm going to address this morning as well, adrenal support, central nervous system issues. So Nocturna is an herbal approach to helping us get to sleep and stay asleep. And again, it's not a magic bullet. So you won't take this tonight, for example. A lot of women ask, well, if I take it tonight, will I sleep a lot better? Well, I can't guarantee that to happen. We have to allow for the nutrients to get into our bloodstream and build up, and that's how natural supplements work. If you're used to taking sleep medications, this product is not going to work as quickly. But again, you won't have that chemical hangover the next day, and you're not going to feel groggy when you take a supplement like this. And this is where this product can be beneficial, and a lot of women like it because they don't feel that chemical hangover the next day. So whether you take 2 tablespoons at night or 3 or 4, you can play around with the dose because everything is dose dependent, as I always say, and that will lead you down your own health path, and everybody is different. So this is just a suggested dose by Health Canada. It's not going to be the dose that everybody takes, but it's a starting point. And if you don't feel right taking 2 tablespoons, you can start with 1, or you can start with a teaspoon. You can play around with the dose. Now, we do have this product available in different sizes. So 120 ml if you just want to try it or you want to take it when you travel. I like to, when I travel, especially when I travel west, with the time change, I find my sleep changes, and it takes a number of nights before I get back into sync. Regardless of where you're going, you could take the 120 ml and you could actually travel with that size. The larger size, of course, is for those people who want to save money and are going to be taking it for a longer period of time. But we do have these 2 sizes available. Now, whenever you choose a supplement, if you like liquids, liquids are always the better way to go when you want quicker results because the herbs get into your bloodstream more quickly versus taking a tablet or a capsule or even a powder for that matter. So you'll notice a lot of our products are liquid based because of that, because there's a lot of people who have compromised digestive functioning. Stress is a big one. In fact, stress is right at the top of the list for hormonal imbalances, anxiety, a lot of health issues. Stress tops the list. So we have a product called Endura Strength, and don't let the name fool you. Endura Strength is a product that we do recommend for athletes or highly active individuals, or even if you're not considered highly active, even if you're just walking or doing something that you enjoy to deal with stress. Endurance strength can help give you more energy. So, whether it's for stamina, strength, physical performance, or just dealing with fatigue, if you're constantly feeling tired, your adrenal glands might be compromised. And we call that adrenal insufficiency. And a lot of people go to their doctors or their healthcare practitioners because their energy levels are low and they just don't have that get up and go that they once had. And stress is the reason why. We're constantly doing things and we're pushing through, and we're looking to maybe caffeine based drinks like coffee, or maybe people are taking energy drinks. They're turning to these types of energy boosts throughout the day, and that is helping us somewhat. But again, it's like a roller coaster. As we take coffee or anything with caffeine in it, then that basically supports our bodies temporarily, but then in a couple of hours we feel fatigued again, and then we reach for another cup of coffee or whatever is keeping us energized. But endurance strength is a healthy way to support our endocrine system, versus the central nervous system, as we've seen with the nocturna, where we are undergoing a lot of stress. And I don't know anybody who is not undergoing some level of stress, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever it might be. Our bodies are impacted by that. And it may not happen today or tomorrow, but down the road, we're just feeling so lethargic and we just can't seem to get our act in gear. Endurance strength. And I started taking this product as I do trade shows, and as you are speaking with the general public, or I'm just feeling, even on a day like today, for example, where I'm going to be doing 3 webinars. This is the first of 3. And I find that, as for me anyway, I have more energy in the morning, but everybody's different. Some people are more energized at night. In the afternoon, when I do my 3 o'clock session, I'm going to start to feel the effects of fatigue. So I will take a swig of Endura Strength about 30 minutes prior to the afternoon presentation. And I might need to do it again tonight for the 7 o'clock presentation. But it gives you a quick boost of energy. It supports your endocrine system. It supports your hormones. It supports your adrenals, of course, your immune system, as I mentioned. And our systems, our immune system is an independent system, just like our adrenals are and our central nervous system, but they affect each other. I always say it's like playing a game of dominoes. Once you push the first domino down, all of the other dominoes fall down. So when we affect, or when our adrenals are affected, it can negatively impact our immune system. So if you are someone who's constantly getting sick, then you start questioning, well, why do I keep getting sick? I don't understand. I'm trying to eat healthy. What's happening? We may not be dealing with stress appropriately. So diet is definitely of paramount importance. We always have to look at the diet first, but then we have to look at ways of managing stress. So is it walking your dog? Is it walking yourself or with friends or family? Is it yoga or meditation? These are all different ways that we can manage stress effectively. And it's a way that women, as they get older, they start to do more things for themselves and start to do things like meditating and taking time for themselves and not always putting themselves last. And again, that isn't all women. I just find in general a lot of women are very much nurturing individuals, and we like to help other people. And of course, this is a great product to help bring our energy levels back. And it's a great, healthier way to. I have a friend who drinks a pot of coffee every day, and so I introduced her to the Endura Strength, and she definitely noticed a difference with, you know, cutting back on our caffeine. And we all know that this is a healthier way to support our adrenal glands versus always going for these caffeine based drinks and so forth. So whether it's stress, fatigue, stamina, if you're starting to exercise more and you just need a little bit more energy, whether you're going swimming or you're going to the gym or going for a walk, I find this product works very quickly. So I'll notice within 10 minutes tops that I'm noticing my energy levels improving. Mental focus, memory, sleep issues. Now, I wouldn't suggest taking this product at night if you have sleep issues. I would suggest taking it during the day, because for people who are super sensitive to being energized at night, for example, even with B vitamins, they can be contraindicated for people with sleep issues, taking it at night, I mean, because that can negatively impact their ability to fall asleep. Hormonal imbalances, this is great for the endocrine system. So again, supporting your hormones and how they're working. So it's an excellent addition to any perimenopausal program that you might be following or you may be thinking of following. So there's not many products in our human line that require a loading dose. And the loading dose is basically twice the maintenance dose. So it's 2 tablespoons once a day for a week or 1 hour before activity if you want to get more energy prior to walking or running or playing a sport, whatever it might be. The maintenance dose is 1 tablespoon once a day. Now, you can take the loading dose for as long as you need to, but you will not need to do that for months at a time because people start to say, well, that's going to cost me a fortune if I'm going to be taking that loading dose for like months at a time. You will not need to take it for that long, the loading dose that is. You can bring it down to a maintenance dose that's sufficient for your needs. And this is where the world of nutraceuticals or natural supplements differs from medications. And I don't know for any of you who have been on medications, your expectations are, I want to see quick results. So with these products, you will see a boost in energy, but again, we need to allow time for these herbs to get into our bloodstream. At the very end, we're going to look at how we can use these products in tandem because I think it's important when we're trying to choose the right supplement and everything, just like anything else, life is all about strategizing. Supplements are no different that way. So at the very end, for those of you who are new, I always look at a strategic way of taking the supplements, and we will address a variety of different things on that last slide. Hormonal balancing is a huge thing that women are dealing with as they go through the transitional phases of their life, as they go from being a young individual, dealing with heavy periods, cramping, and things like that. And as they get older, and as I mentioned, there's no set age where perimenopause can set in. You know, back in the day, a lot of women thought it was, for 50s and getting menopause was going to be, during your late 50s or 60s, but things have changed. It has a lot to do with hormones in the foods we're eating and the hormones in the foods we're eating. All of these can contribute to women experiencing perimenopause at different times of their life. So, if you're in your 20s or you're in your 30s and you think, oh, I've got a long way to go yet before I hit perimenopause, that's not necessarily going to be the case for every woman. So the Dong Quai elixir, and I have personally used this product. I haven't used all of the products. I've used the Endura Strength and I've used the Dong Quai elixir. But from my own personal experience with this supplement, my issues were more with painful periods. And I did find that the Dong Quai helped and also helped with mood swings. So again, getting hormones into some kind of a balance might take months for some women. So I would suggest at least a month taking this formula. So it has an herb called Dong Quai, which is like in the world of Chinese medicine, is like it's a what we call an elixir. It's well, it is the Dong Quai elixir, but it's something that women will take because it helps with so many different things related to their hormones. So Dong Quai and some of the other herbs in here will help with purifying the blood. Basically, we would recommend this product for women who are dealing with menstrual cramping or a delayed monthly flow. So, teenagers, I recommend this product for teenagers. I recommend this product for women who are dealing with anemia, women who are experiencing heavy menstrual flow. You lose a lot of iron with blood loss. So for women who become anemic because of excessive blood flow or blood loss, I would highly recommend the Dong Quai elixir because it helps to support healthy blood production. And You'll notice that what makes us unique in the supplement world is that we use a combination of Western herbs with traditional Chinese herbs. There's a lot of herbal-based formulas out on the market nowadays, but we are very unique in that we combine both. And so in traditional Chinese medicine, looking at Dong Quai as being one of the main herbs used as women go through transitional phases in their life, whether it be irregular periods, irregular bleeding, menstrual cramping, and it also helps to support the liver. And the liver is an organ that is linked to how our hormones are working. It's linked to how our immune system is working, our skin, our digestion. So many times when women are going through perimenopause, I will recommend a liver cleanse as well. Dong Quai can be used alongside a liver cleanse. Very important to support our liver as we transition through these different stages of our life. Hot flashes, night sweats, anemia, as I mentioned, loss of sex drive. And now, when we talk about libido in general, a lot of women think that libido is just about our sexual health and our sexual drive. But our libido is just about our overall energy, our drive, our get up and go. And very often when our energy levels are low, our sex drive is diminished as well. So taking Dong Quai elixir can help promote healthy energy, and a healthier sex drive at the same time. For those women who experience breast tenderness or mood changes, this product, again being an elixir, is a combination of, herbs like Dong Quai, white peony, for example, that have been known to support healthy hormone functions. So this is a good one, like a panacea, I guess you could say, to support the body as we go through perimenopause. So do you have to wait till you start experiencing symptoms before you take any of these supplements? Absolutely not. You could take these products preventatively. And now when we look at the history of women in our lives, our mothers, our grandmothers, we can doesn't mean that we're going to go through the same thing that they did, but if there's a family history of having difficulties going through the menopausal or the perimenopausal changes, then you may want to consider taking some of these types of products ahead of time before you start to experience all of these changes. And again, not to be a scary time, because a lot of women fear perimenopause or menopause because they're anticipating they're going to be experiencing all of these symptoms, and they're not looking forward to it, but you don't have to. Just because our mothers and our grandmothers, generations before us, have gone through this, and back in the day, women just didn't take anything. They just suffered through it. And some women, in my family, for example, I was very fortunate that my mother and my grandmother didn't go through extreme symptoms. Myself as well. But again, prevention for those women who want to try and prevent these potential symptoms, by all means, I highly recommend these products preventatively. So the traditional Chinese way of taking Dong Quai is to take half a cup once per week. When I took it, I took 1 tablespoon a day. But you can take it the traditional Chinese way. That's why there's two ways of taking it. Because, some women like to take it every day, for, again, they remember to take it every day. And if you don't, you could just take half a cup once a week as the traditional Chinese way. I do recommend it. You may need to take it for a couple of months before you notice a difference. It depends on you. It depends on your symptoms. But this product is meant to be used on a monthly, on a more continuous basis, because we are dealing with hormones here, and that's not something that is remedied or fixed, I guess you could say, overnight. It's going to take some time. Antioxidants. Antioxidants, when we talk about antioxidants, they are what bring down inflammation. Now, in the Endura Strength, in the Dong Quai elixir, we're looking at in the Nocturna, there's always antioxidants in all of our formulas. And that's the benefit of taking herbs. Herbs have antioxidants built right in. So, what's so great about antioxidants? Well, when we eat a variety of different fruits and vegetables, we get different types of antioxidants that are being stored in different parts of our body. So, for example, when we take lycopene coming from tomato, if we eat tomatoes, the lycopene, or the active one of the active ingredients in tomatoes, is going to help support our breasts, or for men, their prostate. And so if you take, if you have grape seed, or if you have, for example, we're looking at bilberry, or when we look at antioxidants coming from orange. When we look at orange types of fruits and vegetables, we're getting antioxidants that are going to protect our heart and maybe our vision health, for example. So when you take a variety of antioxidants through your food, so when you look at your food, or when you look at your plate, when you go to have your lunch or your dinner, look at, is your plate colorful or is it bland? If your plate is very colorful, that's good, because you're working your way through different types of colors to support your different organ systems. So Super Antiox would be a product I would recommend to get a variety of antioxidants. You get 11 different antioxidants in one formula. So it mimics the way we eat, or hopefully the way we're eating, with the different colors. So we're getting support for different organ systems in our body, as I mentioned. So antioxidants will also control inflammation. And if you go to your doctor or your healthcare practitioner, he or she will try to deal with inflammation. That's the first thing that they will do for you. That's where a lot of medications are prescribed to deal with inflammation in the body. Well, we just use different nutrients to control inflammation. But it might take a little bit longer to work. So this is a product I would recommend for everybody, regardless if you're going through perimenopause, or if you're dealing with joint issues, or whether you're dealing with immune related issues or skin issues. This would be a nice combination of antioxidants to help control inflammation and support different organ systems. So it's kind of like a suit of armor protecting your body. So it's going to protect your tissues and your organs from free radical damage. Now, free radicals are the result of stress. So as we exercise, our bodies are creating free radicals. As we breathe, we are creating free radicals. We cannot avoid free radical damage in our body. We're not able to avoid that. So when we know, if we're undergoing a lot of stress, becomes even more important to take products like Super Antiox, or taking antioxidants, or getting our greens and our fruits and vegetables and things like that. This is a very cost effective way of getting a variety of antioxidants versus taking them separately. So if you were to buy each of the ingredients that are in this formula, you would pay over $90. You pay a third of that if you were to purchase a product like Super Antiox. Now, because you are involved in our consumer webinars, everybody will get a 40% off coupon that you can go online and you can order products through our online store, whether it's human, pet, or equine, and you get 40% off and free shipping. So you will get that tomorrow when I send you a copy of the presentation. It's a way of us getting you to try the different products. And a lot of people are enjoying the fact that they don't have to pay. Well, our products are cost effective. Even if you were to go to a health food store and buy them, they're very cost effective. But this is another way of us thanking you for joining our presentations. So we have to keep in mind that we're comparing apples to apples when we're comparing costs, and we won't compare a product like Super Antiox against a product that has, maybe just green tea in it, or maybe just maritime pine bark in it, because a single ingredient formula is always going to be less costly than a product like this one, because you're comparing one ingredient against 11. But the science, and we have science to back up our products. So if you ever want to see more in-depth research or more science-based information, let me know and I will gladly send you that information. But research is showing that antioxidants work synergistically, or they work together as a group and work better and support the body better than just a single ingredient formula would. So we recommend this product not only for perimenopause or hormonal imbalances, but for brain health, skin, liver, vision health, prostate health for men, blood, cardiovascular health. And heart disease is still one of the number one killers for women. So I highly recommend this to support the heart. Blood sugar management, very important to our overall health. Osteoarthritis, immune health. So depending on your age. And as we get older, our bodies start to break down more. And I can attest to that. I'm noticing that I have aches and pains in places where they never existed before. But especially if you're more physically active, you will start to notice, or even if you're gardening or whatever you're doing, my body's aching now. This never used to happen before. Well, super antioxidants can help with that, preventing more of a breakdown in muscle tissue and things like that. So this is a great one. I would recommend, really, if you were to pick one product just to support your body through the perimenopausal stage, this would be the one that I would suggest. So this is the slide that I mentioned earlier when we talk about strategies and what we would recommend. Because when we're dealing with perimenopause, there's different things that we can do, but it all starts with our diet. I really like to support and talk about, how we have to look at our diet, and we have to look at our diet. Is our diet creating inflammation in our body? Are we eating a lot of fast foods? Are we eating a lot of saturated fats, things like that? Are we getting a lot of fruits and vegetables into our diet, which are going to help control inflammation and cleanse our body? There's more fiber in fruits and vegetables, so fiber is very important. So with Nocturna, if you have sleep issues, not every woman going through perimenopause, by the way, is dealing with sleep issues. My issues, and this is not all about me, but just from my personal experiences, I've never had to take Nocturna, knock on wood, because sleeping was not an issue for me. Energy was an issue for me. Mood swings were an issue for me. So Donquai Elixir was good for me. So it all depends on what your symptoms are and the appropriate supplement that you'll want to take. So Nocturne is great for those women who are having a hard time getting to sleep or staying asleep, but keeping in mind that we want to take it at nighttime when we're trying to calm down, and when we're not needing to really do something, focusing on a task that needs to be done, whether it's work related or it's something that requires a lot of focus, because a lot of people find that they're starting to get tired, and that's how the product works. We don't want to have to, go out and drive somewhere. We want to make sure that we're in our slow down mode, we're in our sleep hygiene mode, where we're trying to relax and we don't need to really do anything major. Endura Strength is a great way to support the body during times of stress and trying to eliminate our ingestion of caffeine-based beverages, where people are just drinking pots of coffee, or drinking a lot of coffee to get themselves through the day. They're not really doing themselves a great service to their adrenal glands. We need to support our adrenals through the use of the herbals that are found in the Endura Strength formula. Plus, you'll notice a pick me up in energy, which I notice pretty quickly. And most people do complain that their energy levels are lower than they used to be. Donquai Elixir helps balance hormones, reduce menstrual cramping, support the liver, which is essential when we're looking at hormonal imbalances. And that's what perimenopause is. It's all about our hormones. So supporting our liver is a good thing. And you can even go to our liver flush if you ever wanted to try that. It helps with reducing hot flashes and night sweats. And these are not the only products that are good for perimenopause. We have other products like B vitamins and other approaches, but because I have a limited time to talk about products, I really picked the products that I felt were essential overall during that whole perimenopausal transition. Antioxidants are very important to us as we go through any transition as women, and we need to ingest more antioxidants from fruits and vegetables in the foods we're eating. But I'm finding that a lot of women aren't getting their 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, so they'll turn to um, green food concentrates, which are also very good. Super antioxidants can be added as part of that program to help deal with inflammation throughout the body, and especially with the stress that we're undergoing through our perimenopausal transition. Now, I mentioned briefly earlier that we can take these supplements in a preventative way. I find most women usually are asking about our supplements when they start to go through changes. I'll, I would say 95% of women wait till there's something wrong before they will actually call us or start to read up about what they can take. You can use these products for short periods of time or for long periods of time if needed. You can combine the products together safely. All of our products are safe to be used together, but what I usually suggest is to start with something that is really resonating with you. Is there something that I've talked about this morning that you say, well, you know what? I experienced that. Maybe that's a product that I can start with. So I usually suggest starting with a single product and see how that works for you. Because even though the products do work well together and support the body by being combined, it's really hard to know what's working for you when you combine two, three, four products together. I'm just letting you know that it is safe that you can use all of these together. It's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be contraindicated. Now, what do we do for women who are taking medications? For women who are going through hormone replacement therapy, or women who are on it, maybe they're on um, a medication for a different type of medication. Maybe they're on antibiotics for some particular reason. These are situations where we normally recommend 2 to 3 hours away, taking our products 2 to 3 hours away from medications just to ensure that the medications are still going to work, because there's a time and a place for both medication and natural supplement. There are some natural ingredients that can reduce the efficacy of medications. And a lot of people think that just because the ingredients are natural, that they can be taken with any medication at the same time. And that is not true. Just because they're natural, it doesn't mean that they can't affect your medications. So if you do have any questions, you can reach out to me. We do have a toll-free number on all of our bottles for any questions you have, but I will end up answering those questions anyway. Once you have my email, you can contact me directly. In fact, I have spoken with many of you in the past outside of the webinars, and I invite you to contact me, because if you're going through something and you need a little help, I am here to help you. I just wanted to put that out there for everybody. And that brings me to the end of this morning's presentation on perimenopause. Does anybody have any questions or any comments? You can write them out in the chat, or you can write them out in the Q&A. If you don't, that is absolutely fine. As you have questions as time goes by, you can always reach out to me. Please watch your inboxes tomorrow, because you will see a link to the recording from this morning. You will also see a copy of the presentation. You can keep both for future reference. And again, I'm always here in case you have any questions. I hope you join me, for those of you who are joining me this afternoon, for our pet presentation. And then I have another one this evening for the equine support. I hope if you don't join me for either of those, that's fine. We will resume next month. We will have some new topics for you. So please watch our social media sites for those future presentations. And I thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.